Well, welcome to Kwese.
Thank you very much, Daniel. How are you?
How's Chadendo?
Very good.
Okay. Rugby player, Heathens captain, assistant captain, Uganda Rugby Cranes. You have been everywhere, played everyone, beaten some, lost to some. Welcome to Kwese Free Sports and speaking to Kwese.
Thank you, Daniel. It's always good to be here. And Kwese is actually quite big now. And I'm happy to have an interview with Kwese.
Yeah, the big brand.
Yes.
Okay, now let's just dive right into it. What made you get interested in the game of rugby? It's quite rough.
Yeah, it is. And just a short story. Back then, my mom didn't actually want me to play rugby. It just so happened that she could not resist me anymore because I had so much love for the game. I think I learned rugby in my young days when I was still in school. The area in which I used to stay in, I had all my homeboys who were playing rugby at Chadondo. And I think that was motivation enough for me to join them and try out if I can handle the sport.
In other words, you're a Chadondo boy through and through.
Yeah, I grew up in Nakawa for some time of my life, in my childhood, and that's how the rugby journey started. I've actually been a ball boy before, and I picked interest during my time of being a ball boy and decided to hold up a ball and also try out.
Okay, now what's your most profound memory of your early days playing this game of rugby?
I would say everyone thought I couldn't handle, but I just kept in there and I said, okay, let me give it a shot. And I think I used to play football and basketball, but then when I picked up a rugby ball, I didn't look back. And I think that was the turning of my career all through.
Well, you've told us when you picked up a rugby ball and you've been a ball boy. Give us some numbers. When was this?
2002 is when I started playing rugby.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started as a tag student. Tag rugby is the age grade rugby, and it's a non-contact age of rugby. So that's how I started picking up the skill.
Now, you've got to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, regardless of where you are right now. You are the captain of Heathens. Just tell us, have you always been supporting Heathens, or did you have some other rugby team that you supported as a youngster growing up in the game?
I think I've supported Heathens my whole life, actually, because I just told the story how I started playing my rugby at Chadondo. And one thing you need to know is Chadondo is the home of the Heathens. So basically, it all started up at Chadondo, and I'm very happy to have learned into getting into Heathens and being the captain of the team. And
never getting any thoughts to probably move the other side. You know, it's quite easy to move in Ugandan rugby. Very easy. The move is just a walk away.
Yeah,
and
true.
You'll be the other side.
True. I think I'm very comfortable where I am at the moment, but never know. This life is full of different changes. But at the moment, I'm very comfortable playing for the Heathens and still captaining the team.
All right, let's talk about mentorship. Right now, I know you are mentoring a lot of kids. There are kids who play and say, I want to be like Micheal Wokorach when I grow up. Now, who mentored you?
I wouldn't say anyone mentored me, but I went through a couple of hands when I started playing my rugby. I think my first coach was Micheal-Rach. I don't think so many know him, but he has played for Uganda before. Yeah. And he was one of my first tag rugby coaches. And I kept on going from there. And when I joined Buffaloes, I actually played for Buffaloes for quite a season, half a season. And I had some mentors there, like Tindi Brand, who actually eventually joined me into the Heathens. And I would say some people like Tolbert Onyango also played a big role. And it all got going well for me.
Micheal-Rach, of course, there were so many other players there by then and coaches in whose hands you are. But what makes him so exceptional that you can point him out in such an interview and say, probably, this is the guy that mentored me?
I would say because he's the one who taught me how to hold a rugby ball through the tag rugby. That is in 2002. And I think my journey all started up from there. Him being the first coach who taught me how to do certain things, I think it was an opening for me, and I really point up to him. I know some people actually didn't know that I've gone through Micheal-Rach's hands because they don't hear him anymore in the sport and think maybe he didn't play. But he's a legend. He has played for the country before. So I looked up to him a lot that time, and I'm very happy I went through his hands to play the game.
Well, I'm thinking there are so many positions on the pitch. There are 15 positions, really. The 8 are really tough because those are for guys who don't fear a lot of contact. The two, that is inside and outside center,
Yeah.
the ones you play,
Yeah.
are really tough because
Yeah.
you've got to do the contact in the line.
True.
Now, what made you choose center instead of maybe scrum half, throw the ball around and don't get in so much contact or 15th man or something?
I have a very interesting story how I got to start playing center. While I was in high school, I played in St. Lawrence. I was in Creamland campus.
Yeah.
It's a rugby playing school, and we used to compete with the likes of Namilyango, Smack, and Budo. I started playing my rugby actually in St. Lawrence when I was playing fullback, and it's a story very few people know about. But the first number and position I played when I got to Heathens, because I joined Heathens in 2008. The first number I played was fullback, and the first game I had was in Entebbe, and it was in the Mongas pitch. I think you know what happens there. They call it the House of Pain.
House of Pain. It's
Yeah,
really
so
painful.
yeah, so I was playing fullback that time, and I think I had the worst nightmare of my rugby career that time, because through high school I was really a good boy coming up in the rugby sport.
Yes.
But then from that day I had to look otherwise, because I really played a very bad game at fullback, and I think to the coaches they thought, I think fullback is not my position, I need to look for something else. So during the game I actually got injured and didn't manage to play again the next weekend. But I kept my head high and said, probably these are the challenges that go on in rugby, and I didn't look back. After healing, I think it was 2 weeks for me, and the coach walked up to me, who was Brian by then, and asked me, can't you play center? I'm like, I'm a rugby player, I can give it a shot. And my whole life just started.
The whole
from
fullback
there.
thing ended.
The whole fullback story ended because I knew I could not play fullback, and my mates always have a diss at me and say I don't know how to kick, and you know how fullback involves a lot of kicking, so I didn't look back. I said, let me give it a try, and I tried out second center. I think, if I remember well, my first game was against Pirates at second center, and I did a very good job actually. And one thing I remember is the coach subbing me after halftime, and then everyone started asking why have you subbed him and all that. And that's how the highlights started of me playing center. And I've now, from today, I can keep moving from first to second center because I really have the art of playing in the center, and totally forgotten about the fullback position.
Well, at least Uganda got a Wokorach fullback later on. Well, after you had already.
But that's a story not so many know actually. If I start telling you, like, you're surprised.
Both Wokorachs were fullbacks. No,
But
one is still a fullback.
One is a fullback, but by that time, I don't think Wokorach was in the age grade rugby. He was still playing, I think, tag rugby or something. But then that was the time I really started playing my rugby to the higher level. That's playing for the Heathens, and that time I was actually also in the under-19 of the country.
Rugby is hard. It's contact, full contact. There's lots of injuries on the road and even at home. Haven't you ever thought about backing out and saying, well, let me just give up, let me just stop?
Yeah, just recently actually almost retired out of the game because in a space of a very short period of time I was getting problems. From last year I got a back injury. Going into this year I broke my jaw actually, and I had to go for some minor surgery. I had wires on my mouth. I could not talk, I could not even feed. I was just using pipes to feed. And I looked back and I said, I've given it my best shot. I've played rugby for a while. Why don't I just hang in my boots and maybe do something else for myself, probably concentrate on my work and all that. But then I looked back and said, maybe I just have a few more years to go. And my friends kept on encouraging me, my coach encouraged me and said, don't give it up. You're still a young man and still have a long way to go. You can still give it another shot. And today I'm here, I'm still playing the game. So yeah, rugby is full of challenges and you can get injured, but then you don't have to look back. I can tell you of Philip Okrach has broken his leg, I think in a space of 2 years twice, and really serious fractures that he has to go for surgery. But I can tell you he's still back in the sport and he's doing a very good job, both here and in Nairobi, in Kenya, where he's playing. So other few moments of the Chadondo bombing in 2010.
Let's talk about that.
Actually, if I remember well, that was the day actually we had a game in Nairobi on Saturday, but then the team flew back in the country on Sunday, and Sunday was when the World Cup final was being shot at Chadondo. So when we regrouped at the airport, and the drop-off point was Chadondo, so most of the people were dropped off at Chadondo and said, this is the end point, so you can go home. But then there was a game going on, and I'm a very strong supporter of Spain, and Spain was playing that time. So I decided to excuse myself not to go home, but then to join and also watching the soccer.
In other words, you were among the guys at Chadondo?
Yes, I'm a survivor of the bomb, actually. I survived the bomb only because when I got to the grounds, all the seats were full, and all I was left to do was to stand way behind because, you know, I'm tall, so I can see from any angle. So I stood behind, and that's when the bombs went off. And I witnessed a lot from that time, and it really put me down. I got traumatized a lot, and I was like, why does this have to happen on a rugby pitch and all that? So rugby pitch where I play my rugby and the sport I like. So it really put me down, and I managed to recover. I actually seek some counseling, which took me about 2 weeks. Yeah. And I got back to myself, but it was really a trying moment for Uganda, and then for the people who were around who survived, and then for the people who we lost, I would say rest in peace.
11th July, you are at Chadondo Rugby Grounds for the World Cup game. The bombs go off. When's the next time that you get to step at Chadondo Rugby Grounds?
It took me some time. I think a month, and it was just influenced by a pastor who said we're going to Chadondo and have some prayers for the people who died. That's when I got the courage to go back to Chadondo. But ideally, I'd said, no, let me just take some time because I was completely traumatized and I really needed some time to recover before I could step back at Chadondo.
Playing again on that pitch?
The pitch was out of bounds for a while because the police said they were doing some investigations. So I think it took about 2 months before we could start playing again. But the beauty about it is I became strong enough and I really didn't mind. I said, okay, it happened. All we can do is just pray to God. But life has to move on and the game has to be played. So that's what happened. And besides, the bombing didn't happen on the real main pitch where we played the rugby from. It happened from behind, but still, it was within the same area of Chadondo.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It must be. And tough. I think that's one of the lowest moments of your life.
Very much so, because it really took me back a step behind.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're strong now.
Yeah.
You're going to be hitting Tunisians in just a few
those were like 7 years ago, so yeah. I'm back to the normal Wokorach and I'm moving on with my life, my rugby and my job. These are things that make you a good rugby player. Probably you look back and say, yeah, I went through this, but then I can't just give up in the sport like that before achieving a lot.
Man, shaming some of us who gave up quite early in the career. But now, speaking about yourself and the game of rugby, what do you think is your most notable achievement out of this game of rugby?
I think I've achieved a lot. I've been the Rugby Player of the Year with the USPA, I think twice in a space of 2 years. I've been the MVP of the Union Rugby. I've been the top scorer of the league. So I've really achieved a lot, and I'm still looking forward to achieving more. I have played in 2 Commonwealths now. I played in 2010 in India, and in 2014 I played in Glasgow. So I still have a long spell to go, and I just feel I can still give in more and go further.
Well, right now you play competitive rugby, and probably the only other time you play rugby when it's not competitive is maybe fun rugby for charity or something.
Yeah.
Tell us, when was your first game, and against which opponent? Was it in high school at Creamland, or was it later on in the career? That first competitive game that you remember? I
think just like I've told you, it was in 2008. My first rugby game in the Nile Special Premier League was against Mongers, and I think that was one terrible of my hardest, terrible memories. And it was my eye opener for my rugby career, and it really opened my eyes and said, rugby is really a tough sport and you need to give it your all. You don't have to come half, you need to come all out and to be competitive in the sport. Earlier
on in the career, did you ever think that at this particular moment, 2017, I'll be speaking to a certain journalist from Kwese Sports and I would be a superstar in this country of Uganda?
Definitely no, I would say no, because these are not things you expect to come up. But I think if you keep doing the right things and doing what you like most and maybe putting Uganda up there and shining, then these things have to come up. And today I'm here speaking with Daniel from Kwese.
Yeah. Yep. The big station, as you say.
Yes.
True. Now, you've played quite a lot of matches, but what is your most memorable match and why?
I think 2015, Botswana. The game was played on 11th July. And 11th July is always, I remembered it from 2010 when we lost so many people at Chadondo. It was a bombing. And I think that day when I was playing the game, I was playing the game for the people who lost their lives on that pitch. And I'm very happy that I managed to score a hat-trick. And I dedicated every try to the lost souls that who were there at Chadondo watching the World Cup final.
All right, now, going into players, you're going to be naming names regardless of who's your friend and who's not. Who are your heroes growing up in the game of rugby? Players.
Locally?
Yeah, locally and internationally. You can give us both.
I think locally I've looked up to so many people. I've looked up to Micheal-Rach, who has been a leader. He has been a leader on the national team. He has been the captain of the national team. And he has reached a milestone of 50 caps for the country. And it's a good thing. And those are kind of people you have to look up to. I've looked up to Timothy Mudola. He was the former number 13 of Uganda. He has been playing that number. And he also achieved quite a lot. They were on the team that won the African Cup in 2007. I've looked up to Alan Musoke, who has been a very passionate rugby player for the country. And he has also achieved a lot. He was still among the team that played in the African Cup and won it in 2007. So I look up to quite a lot of people. Robert Seguya, who is also passionate about the game, and he's our current coach, actually, our current assistant coach. He has done a lot for the sport, and he's now giving back to the sport, he's a role model to so many, and I'm very sure so many people want to be in his position. So he has led the team very well. He started the campaign in 2015, and a lot has been achieved under his leadership, including the coach from South Africa. So he's one person you can look up to. And Tolbert as well, Tolbert Onyango. He is the sevens coach. He has really led us very well. He always tells me, Michael, you're still young. You can still give this team, the sevens team, a few more years before you retire. So, because his mentality is to use young players to build the sport up, so that he can have a lifespan of about 3 years with them and all that. But then, he's a good coach. I've looked up to him a lot. He's very professional in the way he does his things. So he's one guy to look up to, and so many more that I can't really recall right now.
Okay,
but, yeah.
What we say these days is, I want to be like you when I grow up. So, internationally, who do you want to be like when you grow up?
Very good question. I would say Mark Gitau. He's an Australian player. He has done very well for Australian team. He plays the centre as well. And I think I look up to him a lot. I'm one passionate fan of Australia, and I really fancy their rugby. I know someone may think I'm crazy to support Australia, yet they keep being on the losing end, but it's a team I chose to support, and I really like the way they do their rugby.
Okay, you support Australia, not the All Blacks?
No, I don't support the All Blacks, but I admire their rugby. So I'm an Aussie fan.
All right, now, very quickly, 25 seconds. This is a tough one. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you should be very ready for this one.
Ready.
It's like a fast kick of the game.
No problem.
Kick off.
Yeah.
In 25 seconds, name your squad from number 1 to 15.
I would say Asman, Alex Muriu, Brian Odom, Charles Ohuru, Micheal-Rach, Brian Asaba, Cox Muhigwa, Musaja, Kevin McMott, Ivan, there's one Ivan, Magom, Pius Ogena, Micheal Wokorach, Lawrence Sebuliva, Justin Chimono, and Philip Wokorach.
Man. Well, you got that one right. You got that one right. I knew. Of course, you wouldn't forget 13.
But I don't know if that's the team, because the coaches have their other team. I've also just named it like the 25 seconds you're saying. So
that's the Ugandan team. That's not the Heathens team.
That's not the Heathens team. That's the Ugandan team.
Okay, so you just thought maybe he was asking about Uganda, not Heathens.
Yeah.
Which is okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now, what would you tell a young rugby player who wants to be like you when they grow up?
I would definitely advise them not to give up on the sport. I know there will be challenges along in building their career in the sport, but they shouldn't give up. They should always be determined and work very hard, because you cannot. There's no way out of. There's no shortcut in success. You need to work hard to be successful. So they have to work hard and put their minds into the sport and give it all.
All right. Now, what are your goals currently?
For the rugby,
Yep.
Our main goal is to go to the World Cup 2019, and we're definitely working to it. And this year, our main goal is to stay up in the Tier 1. Winning in would be a bonus for us, but since we're just building, I would think staying up there in Tier 1A is very, very vital for us. The next year is when the big deal starts, and when we have to achieve our goal is to qualify for the World Cup. So that means winning the 1A, that is being African champions.
Being African champions.
Yes.
And that is on the Kwese Africa Gold Cup.
Yes.
All right. You've got Tunisia up next. Yeah. They're being beaten by everyone, you know, ping pong, go to Namiriango, lose to the kids, lose to Kenya 100 to 10. Hey, probably some guys have said, not me, guys have said, you know, you guys need to rest, probably bring in a couple of youngsters, play the game, chill off, relax, enjoy yourselves, man.
But what I would say is, we've watched Tunisia being beaten by Namibia and Kenya, but right now I think they're a wounded lion, and you know what happens when there's a wounded lion, they really come to kill. So I'm not going to undermine them, we're not going to look down to them. I know they're a team that is also coming to redeem themselves because they lost very badly over the weekend. And right now, resting our senior players is not the deal, and I doubt the coaches would want that. Because we're just trying to win this game. We don't know how the score will be. We're not going to undermine them, like I've said. We're just going to try and win our game to get more 5 points. That's with a bonus point. So whatever team will be named for Saturday, I know they're going to be determined to push the team forward. And I think one thing we have planned to do is to relax a bit. As in, I wouldn't say relax, just get composed in the game. You know what composure brings, and not panic doing 13 things. You just have to relax a bit and then see whatever score comes up. Because if we go with panic buttons, I'm sure we cannot even put a score that we really want to. So we're going to just get composed and take each minute as it comes.
The fans want a bonus point.
Definitely, we're working towards that because right now we are third on the table because we didn't get a bonus point against Senegal. So we're trying to work towards that and get maximum points for the game and see what happens next. Because I think all the 3 countries that are on top have won, have not lost. We have won one, we have drawn one, and I don't think it's a time to lose right now because if you lose, definitely you're out of the competition, out of the top lead.
Okay. Lastly, about the Kwese African Gold Cup, do you believe in yourself that any team can beat you? And along those lines, do you believe that any team that you can beat any team?
I think I strongly believe we can beat any team, and vice versa. Because if we approach a game not seriously and without the mindset of winning, definitely we'll have to lose the game. So I know Tunisia has been being beaten by Kenya and Namibia, but if we take the game for granted, we could actually as well lose, and we're out of it. So I believe any team can beat us if we're not determined to win.
Michael, HSBC Sevens, going there. First tell me about that, you know, the atmosphere in Nairobi when Uganda were announced as winners.
The whole journey started in Nairobi last year when we went for the African Sevens. And I was actually not part of that team because I had my work commitments. I was actually out of the country doing some work for office, so I didn't make the team to go to Nairobi. But I followed closely the boys, and they really played very well. And them qualifying, them playing actually very well and winning that, becoming African champions, actually got them a ticket to Dubai and Cape Town. And going into Dubai and Cape Town, I think it was a very good experience for the boys because we had never played this as this group, but Uganda had been to Dubai before. But it was something beautiful that from the time we boarded the plane to go to HSB, we flew in business class. So that was a very good experience for the boys, and everyone liked that. But it was a reward for success and a reward for their hard work. So going into Dubai and Cape Town was a very good experience for Uganda, and I think we didn't go to joke around, we went to actually really play, and we won so many people's hearts, we won so many fans' hearts because they could not believe what we were doing, and they were really impressed with the success that we had put in and the hard work.
What are some of those new things that you picked up from Dubai? Talk about the fans, the way the organization of the tournament, the way they play, something, some stories you picked up on the road.
Like I'm saying, it's all started from the airport when we flew in business class, getting there, everything, like a different environment. Because you're hosting 16 countries from all over the world. The organization was really top notch. You're sleeping in a 5-star hotel. It's all good. You're training and you're being escorted by guards and all that to training sessions. It was really a good thing, and some of these boys had not seen this before, and everyone was really amazed by the way everything was going on. And I think you saw the results that came out. Everyone was excited, actually playing their rugby with a lot of excitement. I know it was very hard for us to set big goals, but our goal was to go and achieve something, get some experience out of it, and then we can regroup for the next.
Hey, going back now.
Yeah.
You expect to go back?
Yeah, we still have another tournament this year. There's Uganda actually will host the African Cup sometime in October. Okay. And if we still win that, which I know we shall still go back to Dubai.
Hashtag we are home, right?
Yes, we are home.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking towards achieving this year. If we achieve that, there's a lot that is going to come out next year, because if we win the African Cup, I'm glad to say it's going to be a World Cup qualifier again. Okay. So meaning if we win the tournament, we'll definitely qualify for the World Cup, which is going to be next year in San Francisco. Hey, next year.
In the US of A.
Yes.
Man.
And then if we still win, we still go in Commonwealth, which is next year in Gold Coast in Australia. So there's a lot of rugby coming out for the Sevens, and it all starts this year in October. If we win the tournament, a lot of doors are going to open for us, because we still go back to Dubai, we'll still go back to Cape Town. Next year we'll play the World Cup, we'll play the Commonwealth Games. So, yeah.
The Kwese Africa Gold Cup. Well, what did you see on the road this one here? There was no going to Dubai this time around. I hope was there business class?
No.
Okay.
It's a different ball game altogether.
Because it's Africa.
Yeah, and then besides, it's really hard to sponsor about 28 people going into the tournament. It's like really big contingents, and yeah, it's still, we got there, so nothing to worry about. Yeah,
the easy one was Nairobi,
Yeah, the easy one was 45. Nairobi. Then we connected from Nairobi to Dakar, which was quite long, but we got there. So a lot of expectations for the Gold Cup this year, and I think Uganda is in a very good driving seat at the moment. We've really worked hard. We've really been training for the last couple of months. So I think the team is looking in good shape. I know the teams are also training. Kenya still wants to redeem themselves. And Namibia is also, as well, a big boy in this tournament, because they've been to the World Cup before, not once, but twice, thrice. And they are considered the favorite of the tournament, but that doesn't stop Uganda from competing hard and actually winning, because we play Namibia next weekend. Just after this weekend, we play Tunisia, but then we play Namibia next weekend. So it's going to be a whole 2 weeks of rugby, and interesting rugby for Uganda, because we're hosting all these 2 games.
All right, now the experience from Senegal. What did you pick from that one there?
It was a very tough game in Senegal, and I think so many people watched it. Those Senegalese came to damage us, and they really came to spoil our party in Senegal. But I'm very proud of the boys. They didn't put their heads down, even with the conditions of the environment. How we started, it was hot. The kind of feeding wasn't the best for us, like we are used to. We were eating the same meal every day, same type of meal every day. But I thank the boys for putting their bodies on the line and getting a win from there. It doesn't matter if it was 1 point, a win is a win all the time. So it was good for us, because if we had lost the game, it would be a different story. The excitement would be dead. But the boys went there and won the game, and we can move on from there.
In other words, it's time to say probably a repeat of what the guys did in Madagascar a few years back, winning the Gold Cup.
That's very true. And I think if history is correct, actually this was the first team to win in West Africa out of home. It's very hard to play out there. Senegal, say Ivory Coast, it's a different ball game. But I'm very happy the boys went and picked up a win, which is giving them the momentum going forward.
Okay, what do you think about the other teams that probably you have not yet played in the Africa?
I think the challenge would be against Namibia, very big, because we're done with Kenya. We drew in Nairobi, so we're going forward. But one thing I would say is we're taking every game fast. So we have Tunisia this weekend. We want to try and put up a win, which we're going to work for and very hard. And then we can think about Namibia, but I would say we bring it hard. We bring it hard with determination, and we're trying to work towards getting a win.
Big hits.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, lastly, just on a lighter note, what do you think about malaria time?
These things happen like butterflies all the way. Even just before a game, a big game, you find you're feeling some kind of butterflies within you just to see. It happens, so it's up to you to take them out of yourself and just go onto the pitch and do what you're required to do. So these things happen. Even the fans have their own malaria because if they're seeing the team being beaten, they'll, what is going on? But then the winning is what cools down everything. So if you're the winning team, then everything is falling. Yeah.
All right. Now, I do know that David Beckham wants all his kids to play football. You know, I want my kids to hold the microphone when they are 2 years old. What do you want your kids to do?
I'm a little biased about that because of what I've gone through. I don't think I want my kids to go through this hard life. Because yes, we like the sport. It's interesting. It's good to play. But I wouldn't want my kids to play rugby as well.
And if they decided to play rugby?
I wouldn't stop them.
Okay.
I would let them do what they want.
No problem.
But I'd try as much as possible to introduce them to everything. So I leave the choice to them for them to choose whatever sport they want. But I would say my kids will have to play a sport at least.
If you were not playing rugby, what would you be doing?
I think I'll be playing basketball because where I grew up from, I grew up in Bugolomi Flats, and we used to have a basketball court just in front of our block, and I used to go play. And it was interesting, but then when I went to high school, I think I changed the love for the game to something else. I think I've tried out soccer and it wasn't my way to go. I've tried out volleyball, still not my way to go. I've gone for athletics, running and all that. But then all the love fell into a rugby ball and then rugby pitch.
Thanks a lot.
Cool.